What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Weekly Indie Newcomer, the Saturday or Sunday series where you and I hang out. Okay, we'll call it a weekend series. I think that simplifies it a little bit, where you and I hang out for a little while and take a look at an indie game that's been rattling around my brain over the course of the last week or so. This week, we are taking a look at a game called Cogmind, which was created by Grid Sage Games. It's a roguelike where you take control of a little robot who has become sentient in a world where that is not acceptable, and so all the other robots are trying to hunt him as he runs his way towards the surface. This is actually a pretty in-depth little roguelike. I like it a lot, actually. There's a lot of fun little things you've got to figure out. There's a ton of metagame, and it's one of those games that you just continue to learn something every single time you play it. Your average playthrough can be anywhere from like 5 minutes to an hour long. It just sort of depends how quickly you die. There is a lot of RNG around. It's very possible to wind up dead faster than you expected, so watch out with this title. It is incredibly difficult. If you don't like difficulty, steer far, far away from this one, because it's more than possible to die within I would say probably the first couple rooms. I mean, if you really want to press yourself over it. For right now, let's have a look. So the game is very, very simple. What I like about this game is that it marries form and design very, very well. And so what I mean by that is that it emulates the form of traditional ASCII, or at least low-res roguelikes very, very well, while at the same time providing you with all of the modern streamlining that you would expect from a title that was developed in 2016. The game is currently in early access. I think I'm playing the 7th or 8th revision. I think this is the 8th beta version of Cogmind, or the 8th alpha, or whatever. I'll add an annotation after the fact. But either way, this game is in early access. It is not released on Steam yet, but the game is still remarkably solid for its early access form. Like, seriously, this game is in better shape than most full releases that I've seen. So anyways, it controls just like you expect it would. You can use the arrow keys to move around if you really want to. I gotta close this menu down though. There we go. We can move around with the arrow keys if we want to. We can move around with the numpad if we really desire to. I tend to use the arrow keys, and so what I tend to do is I sit my mouse cursor over there, and then normally what I'll do is when I need this, I'll pull it back in, or I'll use the numpad to move diagonals when I absolutely need to. You can also re-keybind if you want. This thing right here, so this guy right here is our robot. If we right-click anything in the game, it'll give us an analysis of that thing. This is a great feature, and it's very easy to implement, very easy to use, and you should be using it quite frequently, because examining things is a great way to make sure that you don't end up torn to little robot-y shreds. I like being assembled. I don't know about all of you, but being coherent, having like a cogent form and not being ripped to tiny little shredicles sounds pretty great to me. We've got our core exposure, which is our most important stat. Essentially what this means, I'm going to try and walk through this stuff. This is a very difficult game to explain in a 30-minute video. And so I'm going to do my best. I am planning on doing a series on this game later on down the line. Now is not that time. But anyways, this is going to be a tough one to explain. So at the top right hand, we have our core. That's our HP. When that goes down to 0, we are dead. We have our energy. That's the amount of electricity we have to move things around inside of our system and perform various actions. Just about everything in the game has an energy cost. Everything from movement to swapping weapons around to reconfiguring your little robot is going to cost you energy, but it does regenerate, which is that plus 1.5. Matter is essentially a currency that you use in this game. Usually you use it so you actually have like a little machine inside of you that converts raw matter into ammunition. Typically this is going to be associated with ammunition, but there are other uses for matter as well. But what most people are going to use it for is ammunition when you're trying to defend yourself. These are our module slots, so we have a slot for an engine, propulsion method, utilities, and then we have weapons. And then we could also, on our scanner right here, it tells us where various things are, so you can scan for hostiles, you can scan for parts, you can scan for exits. No known exits, and so see, we haven't actually found it yet. You can make your scan, I guess you get a scan suite as you get further into the game. You can upgrade to make your scan much better so that this is actually more useful. For right now, there's a thing on the ground right there, and it is a light ion engine. And so that thing is going to make our integrity, well, its integrity, the integrity of the part is 40 out of 40 HP. It uses up 3 mass. Based on your propulsion method, you will be able to carry a certain amount of mass with you, which means you can be a bigger or smaller robot. In mech warrior fashion, you can be an Atlas, or you can be something smaller like a catapult, depending on the build that you're trying to run. It also supplies power. It's got storage space. Pretty useful little object right here, and so I'm going to recommend that we pick it up, which you can actually just mouse over and click on it, and now it's in our inventory, which is this bottom right box right here. We can drag and drop that straight up into our power slot. Now be aware, it's not activated right now. If it's not lit up right there, it means it's not activated, so you got to click on it. This little green light right here is the integrity of the part. Now this is important here. Notice that our core exposure has dropped by 38%. Basically, your core exposure is the chance that your core will be hit and lose HP every single time somebody shoots at you. And so the more parts you add onto your robot, the less the chance is that your core is going to be struck by highly propelled matter that other robots have shot at you, because they're just so angry that you're aware of yourself. You're in the building and you're feeling yourself, but also you are aware of yourself. And so those two things combined make them incredibly jealous, and the power of their jellies will be combined, and they will throw. Okay, so we got some wheels. And we got some aluminum legs over here. Wheels are very fragile, but they're fast. Legs are kind of in the middle. They don't break quite as easily, but they're not as fast. And then the slowest but strongest are tank treads. I assume later on they'll probably add more leg types, but for right now, and in fact there are modified versions of each of these, so there will be like battle legs, there will be wheels that are built for like there are expedition wheels, there are all kinds of different wheels that have different stats and stuff, and you'll have to sit down and actually compare those yourself. We got the 2 aluminum legs. Note that that cost us energy to move stuff around. I got to click on both these to activate them. But what you will see now is that we are walking. Our movement speed is much, much better. Whereas before we were using core movement, which is really, really fast. However, that means that we get blasted very easily. And so this right here means that we have 83% speed. The speed in this game is rectified just like every other roguelike. 100 equals 1 turn. And so let's say that your speed, let's see here, where's the stat? I know it's in here somewhere. We've got our there it is, speed. So our speed is 120. As with every other roguelike, 100 units of speed equals 1 movement per turn. And so this means that ostensibly every 5 turns we should get a bonus turn. If you have something fast like wheels, it'll be 150. And if you have something like you can get jets that can propel you around, so you're a flying robot, that'll actually give you 200. And that means you can move twice to the movement of everyone else who does not have flying stuff, which is great if you're running a build that relies entirely upon you just running away and being a giant coward, which is actually a pretty valid strategy. I would recommend it. Inside this room, it looks like we've got the hurt locker here. We've got a couple light assault rifles laying on the ground. I love the ASCII art that they've made for each of the weapons. We've also got a small laser rifle on the ground. I'm going to pick these up. You can do that with the G key or just by clicking when you're on top. There's also some matter here. You will notice that we automatically collect that into our matter meter. What's the matter? Well, it's in our backpack right now. What's the matter? I can't tell you its specific chemical makeup, but I'm going to equip these assault rifles. I like slug throwers in this game, so I tend to stick with them. This robot right here is a serf. Basically, his job is to clean stuff up. And so if there's things laying around on the ground, as I recall, he'll pick them up. One of the cool things about this game is that the robots all do stuff. Like some robots are diggers. They will come in and they will dig out new rooms all on their own. Like if you sit here and you pass turns, they will actively build more dungeon. And then other robots will come around and they'll change the walls from stone into metal, and they'll add like little utilities and stuff. It's really actually quite amazing, and it's a thing that you don't really notice unless you just sit around and waste your time for a little bit watching them do it. Now, when we come in here, yeah, that's a G-34 mercenary right there. This is a hostile robot that is tasked with bringing us in, and by bringing us in, I mean putting bullets through our little robo-brains. And so since I don't accept that, we can left-click on him, and you'll see we got a targeting reticle right now that we can drag around. For both of our assault rifles, you will note that there's a maximum ring that we can fire inside of, but it's not showing up right now here. It'll show up. Where are you, range ring? I know you're around here. There we go. If we mouse over the rifle, that little red ring tells us how far we can fire with it. Now, we have a 56% chance to hit the mercenary right here. You can see that in this box right here when I'm moused over him. We're going to go ahead and give it a go. We hit him for quite a bit. The calculations are being done right here. So one of our rifles missed, one of our rifles hit, and then he fired at us, and he hit us as well. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it hit our core. It probably hit one of our pieces of machinery, like our legs or something else, because that's what our exposure rating represents, is how much of our core is obstructed by things we have equipped. I hit with one of my rifles and missed with the other. He hit us as well. And I think we got him right there, and so his parts have been splayed all over the place. So what we'll want to do here is we'll want to pick up some of these excess parts. I'm going to get the aluminum leg, and then as soon as this excavator moves, I'm going to pick up that extra laser just in case we need it. It's always a good idea to stock up on things. So where did he hit us? He hit us Okay, so he hit us in our light assault rifle. You can see right there that one of his hits landed on the assault rifle. One of his hits landed on a leg from what it looks like, and the other one landed on a leg as well. However, none of this was actually hit, so we should be perfectly fine. There are modifiers to our integrity and some of our other stuff. I don't exactly know what all of that entails, like where this modifier is coming from or what it totally represents, so I'm just going to ignore it for right now and hope. These little guys right here are the drillers that I was talking about. If you watch, they'll build more dungeon. It's kind of a cool little feature. And then the surf runs around and picks up the debris that's left over. And so they've got like their own little ecosystem right here. And look at that. They're building new dungeon. And they will build new rooms and like add machinery and stuff to it. It's super crazy. It's wild. Now, this game operates on an internal timer. The goal is to make it to the end of the level to make it to the stairs. And if you do that enough times, you will escape and your robot will be free. Free as a birdie. And that's, he wants to be free as a birdie. I guess free as a bot, I suppose, would work right now. Free as a birdie bot. No jelly beans involved today. Let's continue forward. Now, the goal is to find the stairs. The game does function on an internal timer, and so the longer it takes you, the more the game amplifies and gets worse, and the more the game's GM, the game basically has an inner dungeon master who will send more and more and more enemy robots at you depending on the actions that you take. So were I to destroy a bunch of these neutral robots, that would make it really, really mad, and it would see me as a bigger threat. If I ignore all of these, and I don't destroy the guards, and I just sneak to the stairs, it might take it a little while to just like figure out what I'm up to inside of its dungeon, so keep that in mind. We've got a bunch of small storage units over here. I think what these do is they make it so I can carry more shit. Yeah, so you'll see right here, this is my inventory capacity. What that did for me is it made it so, a rogue bot has emerged from the scrapyard. Terminate on contact. It actually raised my inventory space from 4 to 10, and so now we can carry more stuff. Are these the stairs right here? What is this? This is a terminal. So terminals are kind of a unique thing in this game. You can click on them and try to hack them. Each terminal does a different thing, and this is where the game starts to get really, really complicated. So there's loads and loads of commands that you can do with these terminals right here, and they're actually hidden commands too. Now, rest assured, each one of these things does a thing, and the percentage next to it is your chance at succeeding on doing that thing. So it says right here, record recycling unit. That means that we get a... Well, let me see here. So schematic. Schematic makes it so that we actually get that schematic so that if we can find our way to a fabricator, we can build it. Record recycling unit does something. I think it just tells you what the recycling gives you like a detailed schematic, or I think it gives you like a I might have it backwards. Schematics might give you the detailed printout on a weapon, and record might make it so you can build it from a 3D printer, or it might be vice versa. I don't really recall. We've also got a prototype ID bank. I think what that does is if you succeed, it'll actually tell you a prototype ID. We can locate traps on the floor by that one right there. That's actually pretty useful. We can look at patrol statuses, which is the hostile bots that are walking around. We can tell reinforcements to be recalled back to their hives because every floor has a spawn point on it where the robots will come in from to attack you. There's all kinds of stuff inside of here. And then there's manual commands, which are basically secret commands that you sort of learn over time from. Some of the consoles will leak a little bit of their manual commands. You can actually click this one and then type them in with the keyboard if you wanted to do something special on a terminal that wasn't normally authorized for that command. And so it's kind of a unique little game, and this right here is actually a major part. So we've got an 80% chance right there. Deconstruction apparatus for breaking down old components delivered by recycler class robots. Condensed matter is contained within the unit until it reaches a... Okay, so basically this just gives you lore behind the basic objects in the game, whereas this one would give us actual schematics. However, what you'll notice is when I click that, our chance of detection has gone up. We've been detected. Now, once this gets up to maximum, because we're interfacing with the system, it will then start injecting viruses into us, which is what this corruption meter is right here. And so if you try to hack terminals too much, you'll slowly start becoming corrupted. And if you max out your corruption, that's the same thing as dying. That's not a good thing for you. You don't want that to happen. Let's continue moving because I don't want to get caught up by security. We've got, oh shit, a pest over there. So a pest, what it is like a swarm bot. It's very, very good at killing you, and you don't want it to see you. And so we're going to try and run from it for right now, and maybe we'll run into something else. What is that? That is a repair station, and it is active. We could jack into that if we wanted to. That's a terrain scanner. The terrain scanner increases the distance of our scanning by quite a bit. I would recommend it. So let's take the terrain scanner. Although I think the terrain... Ah, there it is right there. So you see, now as we sit around, our scanner... Well, maybe not. So as we sit around, there's another object that can act in cohesion with this one. This one will actually make it so that your line of sight is better and you scan entire rooms. Ooh, we've got light treads over there. That's not a terrible acquisition. I'll take it. We might be doing some battle anyways. What is this? That is a terminal. What does it do? This is a security terminal, but it's level 2. Our hacking skills are not going to be suitable enough in order to do this. There are utilities that you pick up that upgrade and make you better at hacking, so a level 2 security would be a lot less scary if you had some of those utilities. We do not. We are unutilitized at the moment, so we will continue to run the hell away. We've got a structural scanner. Scans visible walls for signs of hidden doorways. Reveals additional details about machines and provides a 2% chance to find a hidden trap within a field of view. Oh, that's not bad. I think I might want you. However, that does mean that I'm going to have to ditch some of the shit that we have in our inventory because we don't have the space for it, because I'm going to get rid of the large storage unit so that I can put the structural scanner on so that I can see better. And so there it is. It should start scanning pretty soon. We know that there's bad guys down there, so we don't want to mess with that because those little critters will definitely take us apart at this point. There's utility shielding right there. What utility shielding does is, I think it, yeah, and so you can actually equip this in a utility slot, and it will it'll make a check to see if it absorbs damage every single time your utility would otherwise take damage. And so essentially it acts as a redirect for the damage that you might take in a given situation. This right here is a scanalyzer. That might be a decent thing to play around. Is it level 1? Ooh, it's level 1. So I can take something that we have in our inventory right now, like a small laser, for example, and I can put it in there, and unfortunately it failed to scan. Let me try again. There we go. And so the laser is ready to be analyzed. Now we can analyze it. And we've got a schematic for the small laser, which means if we find a fabricator, we can actually build ourselves a small laser whenever we would want to using matter, which is a pretty cool thing. So there it is. We can view those, but we can't actually build them ourselves, I don't think. I'm pretty sure we can't build those ourselves. I think we need a specific terminal called a fabricator in order for it to work. We've detected a threat. Where have you detected? Ooh. Let's see, we've got a cannon right there. Yar, me mateys. Maybe the pirate robot. So get rid of the small lasers. We're going to take the cannons. The cannons are way better, and I want them. And so now, instead of the assault rifles, we'll use the light cannons. And these might give us a chance to actually survive here. In the meantime, we've got an ion engine right there. That is going to be superior to the light ion engine that we're currently packing. So I'm going to get with the stacking and put that in there. Yes, our energy is low, so we'll probably want to take a minute. Those are matter storage units. Not really interested in that right now. I'm going to leave it alone. What is that? Oh, man, we've got a pest over here. Yeah, they're onto us. So where I want to move is going to be out of their line of sight, if at all possible. And then basically we're just going to shoot them as they come into the room. We're not doing a good job, though. Luckily, neither are they doing an amazing job. They have hurt our engine pretty badly. But I think if we stick with it... There we go. Did we get them all? Oh, we got troopers coming in now. Yeah, security's on us. We're hurting. Our core is not looking so good right now. There it is. Oh my god, there's more of them. Holy shit. Okay, I think we got them all. Which should buy us a little reprieve before they come back to fight me again. And so what I need to look at right now is I need to find a propulsion method that is not damaged. Now, these right here are flight units. That was what I was talking about earlier. These are very, very fast, but they don't hold much weight, and they're destroyed very, very easily. You got to be careful about it because our... Oh, shit. I got to start turning off our utilities because our engine was destroyed. So because our engine was wiped out, it's lucky that we took off that engine right there because we need to re-equip it. We've got light treads on one side. In general, I'm pretty sure you don't want your propulsion methods to mismatch. It's a bad plan. Cannons are still in okay shape. Scanners are still looking all right. That leg is in better shape than the one that we have. So I'm going to ditch that leg. We're going to pick up this one right here, and we're going to equip it, and then we're going to be on our way. We got to... Oh, shit, there's more of them. We got one of them. We might get this one. Our matter is low at the moment. which is bad for us because that's our ammunition, but I'm going to loot some real fast. We may have some robots come by in just a second. Oh, we got a good leg right there. What is that one? It's a small laser. We've got a light ion engine. He busted up our leg again. He busted up our leg again. And unfortunately, I'm going to be swapping. It takes us a turn to move things around. And so unfortunately, they are just going to dogpile on me. Oh my god, there's another swarm over there. Oh man, we're in trouble. We have apparently run into the security breach of a lifetime here. They are very, very aware. Oh my god, there's even more of them over there. This will happen every now and again where it just turns into a never-ending slogfest of combat. I haven't figured out exactly... Oh, there's a particle gun right there, which is basically like a shotgun. It's pretty useful. You kind of want it. I'm guessing... Oh, they destroyed one of my cannons. Which means that I need to get another weapon activated. Our integrity's looking not so good. We have no power source and we have no leg now. Don't have a leg to stand on, and he just destroyed our cannon. Alright, there goes another one. Luckily, their weaponry is not so great. He's running away, so he's fleeing. I'm going to pick up the particle gun, because that's essentially a shotgun. And it's pretty useful, actually. No, equip it, thank you. Oh, I don't have the energy, because they blew up my engine. Hooray. Yeah, I'm going to need that, like, right now. Let's kill some of our secondary systems so that we can regenerate a little bit of energy. And... shit. I'm gonna have to bypass a couple of turns, which is really not what I want to do right now. We have no inventory capacity. Get rid of the busted assault rifle. We'll pick that up. That surf right there is starting to clean up the body parts that are laying all over the place. What we'll want to do now is we'll put the particle gun in. We'll put the treads in. We don't really have much of a choice right there. I don't have enough energy to put on the ion engine just yet. How much energy does it take to put in the ion engine? A lot. But now we should have energy that's regenerating as we run around. Other things that we might need here. We're sitting on top of a light nuclear core. That is pretty good. There's an ion engine right there. We may have to equip a flight unit for... Oh, shit. More mercenaries. Luckily, the particle gun is really, really, really good at killing bad guys. Like, for real, it is. If you're trying to... Oh, shit, there's more of them in there. That's good. Give me the aluminum legs. And we particle gunned one of them. Oh man, more pests. This is troublesome. I don't know where they're all coming from. We are getting swarmed right now, and it is not good for us. And our guns are destroyed, which means it's pretty much the end of the line for us right now. We had some bad luck right there. Running combat in this game is really ill-advised because the more you fight, the more the security basically knows about you, and the more it sends after you. Wow, we are just hacking our way through them right now, but our core's about to go. I will be supremely surprised if we survive this. Okay. Looks like it's over and done with. Give me another assault rifle. God, that got so rowdy so quickly. Alright, there's our other assault rifle. We need a core. There it is. Core's activated. And at this point, we just need to get out of here. That's all that really matters. So let's see if we can't make a dash for it. Because I think we just cleared out like 1,000 tons of enemies. I didn't mean to do that. That was an accident. It's probably going to upset security, but what are you going to do? That right there is a scout. What those do is think of those as like snitches. They run off and they tell the other robots that your position, where you are, and that you're planning to do violent, horrible things. Ah, and there it is. We got killed. This game is called Cogmind. If you wanted to check it out for yourself, I'll have a link for you down below. It's a lot of fun. That run went very, very poorly. I think I've made it down 6 or 7 floors on my best playthrough. I've done pretty well, but honestly, it requires a lot of things. There's a lot of RNG in here. If you're into things like powder, if you're into things like NetHack, it's very much a game in that vein where it's not meant to be fair a lot of the time. Sometimes you'll get good weapons right at the beginning, and you'll be able to just stomp your way through the first 4 floors super easily. Other times, like this one, you'll end up with weaker, lighter weaponry, and combat is not going to be the best option, as you just saw. Now, I know there's a lot of things that I didn't explain, but that's because this is an incredibly in-detail roguelike, but it's a really good game too, so I do recommend that people check it out. It will have a Steam release, although I'm not exactly sure when that's slated for. And so anyways, I'll keep you posted. We will probably do a series on this at some point in the future once I have a little bit of space on the channel. I will see you all later. My name is Splattercat. I like to feature indie games here on YouTube. They're called the Weekly Indie Newcomer episodes, and it's my attempt to make lesser-known games more well-known. I will see you all later. I hope you had a lot of fun. It was fun for me, and I will see you in next week's Weekly Indie Newcomer. Bye, everybody.